2004 Saturn VUE, doing a door skin swap. I've already done the front door. I did a video on that. May take, if this video goes smoother, then that video is not up yet. Had some technical difficulties with it. Anyway, this is going to cover the back door removal. You see there's my new skin down there I got from the junkyard. Normally I just would have pulled that little panel off the bottom, but I heard there was a lot of complaints from people who had GM install them at the dealer and they fell off or came loose or wouldn't stick right. These are on there good. I'm just going to swap the skins and keep my stock ones for just in case. So this is going to cover how to do that. All right, first things first, we're going to note our fasteners that we're going to be dealing with. Number one, tools. We're going to need a T30 Torx bit. This is much easier versus using a screwdriver version to get the torque that you need to remove the bolts, because they do have a little bit of thread locker on there. This tool here, this nail puller, we're going to be using to remove the pin out of the door handle. You just have to be real careful with it because you can snap the head off because these are sharp. This is going to help us to remove the weather strip, unlike the other videos where they wedged it loose and could potentially damage the paint. I don't want to do that. And your screwdriver. And here's your panel puller and microfiber. This little guy, if we need them. Removing the pin out of the other door, I didn't need them, so we're just going to kind of play it by ear. This little brush to clean up your weather strip while you have everything apart. All right, let's go over the fasteners. Sorry, I kind of jumped ahead there before. This is the T30 that I was talking about. You've got 1, 2, 3, and you've got 3 along the bottom. So there's our 6. Now we've got 2 on the inside jamb. Number 7 here, and number 8. Hopefully you can see that with the, yeah, there you go. Now we're also going to remove this plastic panel, this little black panel you'll see on the outside. We've got 2 little screws there. This top one's more designed like a bolt. It's got real fine threads and goes into a nutsert. That one is actually like a typical screw fastener. But it's needed to remove this piece here, because in order to get our weather strip partially holds the door panel on. There's actually a that screw that's down here in the bottom goes into this weather strip. So we're going to want to remove that screw in order to free up this weather strip. All right, I'm going to start removing those Phillips screws, and I'll check back in with you to show you how we pull that panel off. Okay, here you go. I've loosened them up. Figured y'all didn't want to see all that. You see how this is kind of more of a standard screw type. And then up here at the top, pull him out. See how he's got real fine threads? He's basically a tiny little bolt. And you see your little nutsert inside there, if it'll focus. There we go. Now we're going to move around to the front here. And these guys have little teeth, so you're going to want to slip them this way and then gently pull up to free it here. See how they have these little tabs? If you just go pulling straight out, you'll snap them because they hook here and here. All right, we'll set that to the side. Now, the weather strip is now free. You'll see here on the back, that's where that bottom screw went into, right there. Now, this guy is delightful to remove. Fortunately, I've already had a trial run with doing it, so I will show you the best technique I found. Now, these rear ones were a lot more difficult than the fronts. A few folks have started pulling here, but you see this part is actually kind of weak. If you pull here, there's not a lot of meat to it, and I'm afraid it's gonna bend. So people have talked about shoving chisels up under here. I don't like the idea of damaging paint. It's basically got a little lip that hooks on, let's see, let's show you here. See, it's got this little channel and the weather strip hooks in here. So folks have said to take a pry tool and wedge it like so, but you tend to chip it. So my thoughts, and it worked really well, was instead you wrap said pry tool with a microfiber and you have it ready to go. And then we're actually going to use this tool to hook up under and gently lift till we can start to get this to let go. And that's when you stick your pry tool with microfiber in and you kind of work it down the channel gently. The hard part is getting it started. Hopefully this isn't a awful painful thing for y'all to watch, meaning boring and tedious, but I figured y'all would want to see the process rather than me just reveal it done, like so many videos tend to do. So, make sure, yep, we're recording. And I just kicked y'all, okay, I kicked the light, sorry. Me and this light, we're constantly fighting. Sometimes I think it blinds me more than it helps me. Alright. Just going to want to get that in place and ready. What? I'm going to get things lined up and then show y'all what I'm doing. Hang on. Alright, what I'm doing is slipping the microfiber under there and I'm inserting this here to kind of get some upward leverage. And I'm actually going to have to slip the pry tool in here and work that up as well because I don't want to just yank and break something. You just want to do this little as you go across so you don't bend anything. So that's the thought behind this. When I took it off the other door, the door was off and leaning at an angle, so I was able to get a different vantage point. So this is just a little different. So I'm going to play with it to get it started. Alright, we're starting to lift up. So we want to get our pry tool under there. Huh. Get in there, little buddy. Let me out. Anymore. But for the sake of y'all being able to see better, let's try doing it this way. As I say, this is a bear. See, we're starting to lift. Hopefully y'all can see that. Starting to lift. We're going to work our way across. Easy does it. Gentle, gentle. It's the name of the game. Night. Flip the pry tool. It's not wanting to slide like it did before. That was the trick to this. Getting it to slide along as it went. It's trying to make it easier for y'all to see, but what good is it if it doesn't come off? And buddy, it would be nice to have assist you. Hold the door as you do this. We're looking. Just taking our time. I'm going to reposition that pry tool. Hang on. It slid like butter last time with the microfiber wrapped around it. It's just not wanting to budge. This one's much tighter than the other one. Not to mention I had better leverage apparently. That is what you don't want to do. Shit. Sorry, language. Work that cap off the end. That's why you go gentle. Don't bully it. There. Now I can get my fingers under there. Okay. Now we're cooking with grease. Whew. See, now I've got leverage. Makes all the difference in the world. Again, you don't want to yank it because that'll bend it. You want to take it slow and easy. There she goes. All right, learn from my mistake. Don't pull, where is it? Don't pull too hard from the end. Fortunately, I have a spare one of these. And that was where I broke it. Right there, this little piece. I can fix it. All right, with that loose, we can move on to undoing or loosening, I should say, not completely undoing, but loosening those Torx bits on the back side here. So I'll go ahead and loosen those guys up. Check back in with y'all when we get to the door handle portion of this. All right, now we're moving on to taking the door handle off. Now, I went ahead and just loosened everything on the inside. I did not remove it for the sake of wanting to have this panel still be relatively stable and not floppity flopping around. When you take those Torx bits loose, it's going to become mighty loose. Now, what we're wanting to do is, you see this pin right here? Let's see if y'all can see. This pin right here is what we're going to want to remove. The design of it is like most of the push pins you see on these cars in the across the bumper and the fender liners. It's got the legs on it, and then it's got this little head that inserts into the base, and when the head goes in, the legs spread out. That's what we're actually going to be removing to get out of there. So, that being said, I found the best tool for the job. Worked great on the front one. It's one of these nail pullers. Got to be careful though because it's very sharp. And what you're going to want to do, you have to come in between. Let's see, gosh, if y'all can, you have to come in between the head and the base, and you're going to want to pull the head up. All right. Work it slowly. God, look at this trash up under here. Sorry. And then that happens when you work it up, the legs let go and they go a-flying. I'll find that little guy in just a minute. Worst case, I got some spares. Stick your finger under there and you actually slide the handle towards the rear and it comes off these little guys. Now, be sure your car's unlocked, just in case you have to get the door back open when you close it, when you're removing the skin. Last thing you want is to be locked out of your car. All right, now we're going to move on to the skin removal. Now that we've got that door handle loose, we're going to go ahead and remove these fellas. The rest of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. I needed the longer reach to get into the door jamb, but it's a little awkward out here. Sorry, y'all. This one, like my front, might be broken, so I don't know how he's going to behave coming out. Okay. That was 6. Now we've got number 7 here. I don't block the light. Oh, there we go. So I was going to try and sit y'all down, but that was more tedious than I anticipated. And our last one, number 8. Sorry the light wasn't really good for y'all. Apparently the light decided it wanted to retire. At least it didn't blind anybody. All right, back to the front. All right, removal of the door skin. Got all our Torx bits loose. See how it's nice and loose at the bottom. Let me adjust y'all. I don't have a good stand for this, so anyway, it's loose at the bottom. Basically going to be lifting up. We just want to clear this. And gently lift up. So you've got 2 tabs along the top. Okay, that guy's loose. That one's loose. Down. Come on. 2. All right. Sorry for my appearance. I wasn't going for camera worthy. These are our 2 tabs. Careful not to snap them. There's your prize. And as you can see, they actually did a little bit of soundproofing. Again, if you didn't see it before, this is our replacement panel. These were the tabs that we had to slide out of here and here very gently. All right, I'm going to cut it there, and then I'll have a video of reinstalling everybody. All right, but there's the removal.